My boys were in a public school, and I was gonna enroll them in a new public school. I had moved to a different location, and I'd heard good things about it. So I was like, okay. So I went ahead and enrolled them in this school. And right during that time is when the pandemic happened. They released the plan for parents, and I was like, this isn't reality. Like, I cannot make this work. I'm an essential worker. I have to be in the office. I can't make this work. So I did an emergency transfer to a school system that was further out. It's kind of considered a magnet school, but kind of not. But it was about a 30 to 45 minute drive from my house. Well, it was going well as far as them keeping school and in-person learning, which was great. But it was, like I said, about a 2-hour commute when you total the time per day. They had an active IEP already from the school that they were at, and the new school wasn't applying the IEP at all. So I had mentioned it to him a few times, you guys aren't applying the IEP, my boys are on an IEP for speech. These are services that the school they were at felt like that they needed. And they just said, well, we don't really think they need it. And I said, and it's hard because as a parent, you're like, well, you don't want to argue or be disrespectful to a teacher. So I kind of just sat back a little bit. So some time goes by, and I do this for almost 2 years, right? And I was actually just at home watching TV, and a commercial came on about Oklahoma Scholarship Fund. And I was like, what's that? So I called the Oklahoma Scholarship Fund. They were very helpful. And she's like, the Oklahoma Scholarship Fund is, you probably would qualify, but it's not going to be enough money to make a substantial difference. She's like, now, if your children were on an IEP, then you would qualify for Lindsey Nicole Henry. And I said, well, they have an IEP, but the school has not been implementing it. It was really stressful, but they met me over the summer. They did. They met me over the summer. They provided me an active IEP. I sent that in to LNH, and I was approved. And while LNH did obviously help me afford Victory, it didn't pay for all of the scholarships, but it made it affordable where I could pay monthly payments broken out over the year and make it affordable for me to pay for. If it wasn't for LNH, they would not be. There's no way I could afford it. As a parent, we want to go to bed every night knowing, our children are in a good school, that we're doing the best for them. And it's just a great feeling to know that every day when I take my kids at school, that they're getting a great education and they're safe. And that's a choice that I made. And I have that choice because of these programs like Lindsey Nicole Henry and the Oklahoma Tax Credit.